Sometimes I feel like I'm trapped when I'm making beats. I reach for the same drum sounds, I use the same synths, program the same type of drum patterns, and so on. And it feels like I'm not growing or evolving my style, and it drives me nuts. So what do? To break out of this stagnant space, I do the one thing that promotes growth every single time, guaranteed. I use limitations. You see, when you limit your choices, you directly challenge the usual method you go about making music. Here, I'll give you a few examples, with the best ones saved for last, so stay till the end. Let's start off by limiting myself using just one drum pack. Seems like a simple thing to do, but hear me out. I skip over probably half of the sounds in different packs because they don't really strike my interest at the moment I'm looking through them. Usually that's not a problem, but in the spirit of growth and evolving my sound, what I do is force myself to make several beats or loops, just utilizing as many different sounds from that one pack as I can. The results are consistently great, to be honest. Not only do I find new sounds that I overlooked and end up liking, but I find new ways to take sounds I wasn't really feeling at first, and by messing around with them, either slapping different effects on them or just messing with transients and whatnot, I got familiar with more sound design options I was ignoring or just not aware of. So the pure result is I end up with a grip of new beats, I'm intimately more in touch with new sounds I previously overlooked, and I pick up some new sound design techniques. That's a huge win. Let's move on to another limit. Choosing one preset on a synth that you have and tinkering with all the different knobs. This one is great to expand your sound palette with equipment or VSTs you already own, as well as get to know how synthesis works on a basic level. Best thing is you get to choose how deep into the weeds you want to get. I'm personally not one to build my own sounds from scratch yet, but I do find it helpful to know how to get around my VST, even just a little bit. An easy way to tackle this is to record a MIDI part and loop it, let it play, and start turning all the knobs. Don't be shy about it either. Turn those knobs to both extremes and pay attention to what changes. I can't stress how much you'll learn just by experimenting one knob at a time. The benefit about learning how one synth works is that there are a handful of adjustable variables that also appear on all synths. Once you get a feel for one, the next one you mess around with is a little less challenging to learn because you'll be able to focus on the variables that are different. And now for my favorite limitation: time. Limiting your time is the most useful tool you have at your disposal. Chop a sample up in 10 minutes, make a beat in 30, or how about just write 20 ideas in 2 weeks, choose 5 of the best ones you think you can finish, and in the following 2 weeks, complete the arrangement, mix and master, then ship them out. That's exactly what I had to do for the Rocket League tracks. And I gotta tell you, I've never grown more than that in such a short period of time. When you put a time constraint on your creative mind, you don't have the luxury to second guess your choices in the moment. All you have left is instinct. Trust it and move on. The time for reflection is not with each step you take, but at the end when the task is done. That's the only time you can judge your work clearly and learn from what you observe. Whatever way you choose to limit yourself, I would suggest writing it down on a post-it or something you have in front of you while you work so that it can remind you of how you are trying to do things. If you're practicing with a time limit, use a stopwatch or write down the time you start and the length of time you're going to work for. Just get it outside of your head and onto something so it's real and out there. Now go try them out and grow. I'll see you next time.